Hey guys, it's Rob here and welcome back to another video. In this video, we are going to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 leaks and Nintendo Switch leaks that have happened about the past year or so. And the reason why I want to go back and look at these is because some of them have come true already and some of them are on that same list. So there could be potentially some games that we could see in 2025 when it comes to Nintendo's 2025. With that being said, guys, remember this is past information that has yet to come true that could come true, but it also could be fake. So always keep that in mind. With that being said, let's get to the obvious one, the Wind Waker ports. So when you look into the rumors and leaks about the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker and the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, the one that's most recent and the one that I mostly remember is Jeff Grubb over on Gaming Leaks and Rumors Reddit. They say, Jeff Grubb, Metroid Prime 2 is coming soonish and something Zelda that isn't related to Tears of the Kingdom is happening this year. Now that is very interesting because we know that we got the Echoes of Wisdom game. Now the rest says, Metroid Prime 2 for Switch is coming relatively soonish. We know that didn't happen, but we know that Nintendo is sitting on a lot of these games. Xenoblade Chronicles X was probably sat on for quite some time, and we'll get to more games on that soon. And the second bullet point was of course something Zelda happening later this year. Now that was probably Echoes of Wisdom, but the main focus of this part is Metroid Prime 2 coming to the Switch relatively soonish. If this is the case, and according to Jeff Grubb, it's not as a big enhancement as, let's say, Metroid Prime 1 was. Keep that in mind. According to him, it's not going to be a big improvement. As far as the Zelda games go, this is what Jeff Grubb had to say on that. So again, according to Jeff Grubb, they still exist, and if Nintendo was going to be dropping these anytime, it would probably be in 2025. Nintendo has been going port and remaster crazy when it comes to different games, especially when it comes to the Wii U games, so I wouldn't doubt that they're going to continue that, and this is probably going to be one of those games, especially if they are actually sitting on it. They're trying to find the perfect time for the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, and honestly, in 2025 leading up to the release of the Nintendo Switch 2, I think that's a perfect timing. Now circling back around to Midori or Ryan from the Bronx, he does have a lot of other information when it comes to different games that could hit the Nintendo Switch, and for those who are a little iffy on Midori or Ryan from the Bronx, whichever one you want to call him, on September 2nd, he posted this: Xenoblade X will be released on the Nintendo Switch, status unconfirmed. And of course later it was confirmed. That was on September 2nd. Now whether he looked at that information from Zippo and just grabbed that, or this is actually based on information he actually has, we don't really know. But as far as I can tell, that information was correct. One of the two were correct anyways. So this next rumor does have to do with the Nintendo Switch 2 from Ryan from the Bronx. He says, to expand on the Switch 2 backwards compatibility rumors, next Nintendo Switch hardware will also contain download and transfer services between the two consoles to make it easier to play Switch 2 versions of the Switch games, such as aforementioned XCX port next year. And of course that's Xenoblade Chronicles X. So Xenoblade Chronicles X will run on the Nintendo Switch 2, and apparently it's going to be running much better because it says make it easier to play Switch 2 versions of Switch games. And this is something that I really wanted to see with the Nintendo Switch 2. I wanted to see Switch 2 versions of the games and not ones that you have to pay for, and it sounds like this isn't something that we're going to have to pay for. We might be getting just free upgrades for our past games. Again, according to this Nintendo Insider. Now the next one I want to talk about is something that we do know is happening. We know Nintendo is going to be working on another Legend of Zelda game that they're going to be releasing whenever they decide to do that. And that game is in the form of games like Echoes of Wisdom, Link's Awakening, those type of style of games. During the interviews with Echoes of Wisdom developers, they talked about the next Legend of Zelda in the style of those games, and this is what they had to say. I'm looking forward to playing this new Legend of Zelda game where for the first time Princess Zelda is playable as the main character, and to be making new discoveries every time I play. And I'm also excited to see what the future holds for top-down Legend of Zelda games. Thank you very much. Now this quote was from Aonuma, and they do have other things in the article that has to do with future Nintendo Switch games. I hope lots of people will enjoy this new top-down Legend of Zelda, and I will be excited for future top-down Legend of Zelda games. And if you guys didn't know, during the development of Link's Awakening, they were already thinking about the Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. So who's to say they're not thinking of the next top-down Zelda game? And I think potentially, especially when it comes to Grezzo, because they did handle the Link's Awakening and Echoes of Wisdom, maybe we'll be getting those Ages and Seasons remakes and they're going to be handled by Grezzo. I think that's another game that could be in 2025. Now up until this point, I'm sure some people think that there's no way Nintendo would have any of these games or even any games past what they currently have, but Samus Hunter, if you guys remember, she hasn't been around for quite some time, but she recently popped her head back out. Everyone is eagerly waiting the reveal of the Switch successor, but get ready because before its launch, Nintendo has many more titles planned for the first console. And then she was asked, do you mean unannounced games from Nintendo themselves and not third parties? And this part is the interesting part. Yeah, they have enough Nintendo games that can still fill each month up until the release of Switch 2, and the efforts in these are higher than DKCRHD, that is more like a port. To me, they can just wait a bit more to reveal the Switch successor in its full glory. So that's very interesting because they say DKCRHD, that is more like a port. It's gonna be better than that. That means they're gonna be doing full-on remakes or just a better upgrade like Metroid Prime 1. So now we just gotta look at like what games could be there. What games could they do with that? And I'm starting to wonder if maybe, I mean, it could happen. Twilight Princess, maybe that's a game that they could end up bringing over to the Nintendo Switch and Switch 2, and maybe that's why we haven't had it in a very long time, because they're actually going through and sprucing that game up immensely, and maybe we will still get Wind Waker as well. I don't think that really needs a huge spruce up, maybe some things here and there, but maybe Twilight Princess is one of those games that's going to get a pretty massive upgrade. Could you guys imagine that? If would you guys even want that? Do you want Twilight Princess to get the Metroid Prime 1 treatment? Better character models, lighting, environments, and all that great stuff? Or maybe you want it for Wind Waker. Let me know in the comment section below. Or maybe, Ocarina of Time or something. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see because it sounds like it's going to be a pretty massive remaster or port. More than likely, they're going to call it the Definitive Edition or whatever Nintendo wants to call it, but something is going to be getting a pretty big upgrade. There's also Kid Icarus Uprising that could come to the Nintendo Switch. We know that Nintendo likes to bring these 3DS games to the Nintendo Switch, and Kid Icarus Uprising is the perfect game. Now, there were some trouble with that. If I remember correctly, they said that there was some trouble with the controls and translating that over to the Nintendo Switch, but I think there was also trouble for Xenoblade Chronicles X because how big the open world is and how complicated it is, and somehow they still made that happen and even replaced the character models and all that. So I don't see why Kid Icarus Uprising couldn't come to the Nintendo Switch, or maybe some other 3DS game. What kind of 3DS game? Oh, it'd be really cool if we can get some of the older Pokemon games on the Nintendo Switch. No, I'm just kidding. That's not gonna happen. They're probably just gonna do remakes or something, or whatever Game Freak is doing. But a game that I had in mind, and I don't know why this popped in my head, but a cool game would be the Beautiful Joe game. I mean, imagine them giving that a whole new you don't really need a makeover for the GameCube. The GameCube one actually looks pretty fantastic, but something from Beautiful Joe would be really cool. Though Samus Hunter does say that they're Nintendo IP specific, so other than the Legend of Zelda series, Mario Galaxy is on that list that a lot of people still want on the Nintendo Switch. Mario Galaxy 2 specifically, it's not on the Switch yet. I think 1 is on the Switch. It was part of that pack for the Nintendo Switch, the Mario 35th anniversary. So maybe that's gonna get a huge sprucing up. Now, as far as like new games in series for like The Legend of Zelda or Mario, I wanna make a separate video on that because I think that's more of a Nintendo Switch 2 specific thing. So there are some other things I wanna go into, and if you want that video, make sure you subscribe and have that notification bell on. And with that being said, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you think any of these rumored games or any ideas that I've thrown out in the video, do you think any of them are going to happen? Let me know in the comment section below, and also the games that you want to see Nintendo do in 2025. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.